He literally kicks a goddess straight into outer space. The ruler of galaxies turned into a useless kitten meowing in fear. But wait, how did a world-destroying entity end up like that? She offered him supreme power and fortunes, only to get rejected hard. The demon goddess just didn't expect this boy to be an invincible paranoid guy. To understand how a mortal humiliated this deity, it all goes back to the beginning. Before continuing, make sure to drop a like and subscribe right now. Everyone knows the classic story of making a deal with a demon for a wish, and it happens all over the cosmos. Some of these entities prefer classic cursed items like the famous monkey's paw. Others prefer sealed demons just waiting for some fool to make a contract. No matter the method, the goal is always to open a portal and rip out a naive soul. In the end, these beasts only want to collect souls and feed on despair. Then a guy gets an RPG system, starts leveling up like crazy, and thinks he hit the jackpot. He acts like the top dog, covered in money and girls, claiming he earned it all on his own. But the poor guy doesn't realize he walked into a huge trap right before the system crashes. Out of nowhere, the system glitches and wipes him out, turning him into a crispy skeleton. Behind this generous system stood the demon goddess herself, laughing at his foolish face. After destroying another world and draining everyone dry, she realizes the universe has gotten boring. So the powerful Sudana decides it's time to find a new toy in another dimension. She tears open space with her bare hands to pick her next destination. Looking at a world full of fire dragons, she finds the idea way too cliche. She checks out another world full of buff guys beating each other up, but it feels super dull. A world of giant robots also bores her, until she stumbles upon something new. She finds a completely normal planet with no magic or superpowers, a totally untouched land. Best of all, Chen Sheng is down there walking along the street, clueless about what's coming. He's having a totally average day, taking a simple stroll down the sidewalk. But the boy's evil energy aura is so bizarre that it catches the goddess's attention right away. Instantly, Sudana gives a creepy smile as her mouth starts watering. She rips through the dimensional barrier with her claws, eager to invade. The demon goddess is already celebrating, thinking that delicious soul belongs to her. But as she reaches in, the world's reality itself pushes her back. The boy's universe is so pure and fragile, it can't handle a goddess's crushing presence. She even gets a small cut on her finger from the space-time rejection. Instead of angering her, this gets her excited, finding the boy cute for resisting. Now it's a matter of pride, and she wants to conquer this new victim no matter what. She basically holds the planet in her palm and starts forcing her way in. Diving down from space, the goddess heads straight toward Earth. To enter this world without destroying it, she throws away almost all her supreme power. For a demon god, losing power built across universes is a small price for real fun. She only cares about playing her new game, even if she has to discard everything. Staring at the metropolis from above, she imagines the fun chaos she will cause. She wants to turn that peaceful place into complete mayhem. As she plunges like a meteor, city life carries on, while people train at a local dojo. Martial artists throw impressive kicks to build up their strength. Police officers go about their daily work keeping the streets safe. A tough cop pins a suspect to the ground right on the pavement. Other folks go on with their routines and odd items. They have no idea the goddess is arriving to corrupt and drain their world. The beam from her fall rips through the sky right above the skyscrapers. Sudana comes crashing down, locked onto her main target. Her eyes already reflect Shen Sheng, that delicious mortal. The young man keeps walking calmly, unaware he's become the main course. Suddenly, he senses something odd, stops in his tracks, and looks up at the sky. The giant goddess appears in the middle of the street and tells him to make a wish. She looms over him, promising to fulfill any desire in his mind. She flashes a big smile, waiting for him to fall for it and ask for ultimate power. But Chen Sheng gives the ultimate anti-protagonist reaction, crosses his arms, and says no thanks. Suddenly, the goddess short-circuits as she realizes something is way off. She drops from the sky in front of Chen Sheng, thinking she'd make a dramatic entrance. Sudana smiles with confidence, assuming the kid is frozen in shock. She floats arrogantly and gives a whole speech on how backward this world is. Promising to show what she can do, she prepares to demonstrate her true divine power, but Chen Sheng just ignores her completely and walks away like nothing happened. The goddess gets furious after being left talking to herself in the middle of the street. Refusing to accept it, she snaps her fingers to impress the kid at any cost. The flash is so bright that Chen Sheng has to cover his eyes to avoid going blind. Out of nowhere, piles of gold and legendary treasures sprout up around him. There are even bank vaults and stacks of cash to tempt the boy once and for all. She leans in arrogantly, promising to make him the richest man alive in a blink. She goes further, offering rare gems, ancient coins, and mystical power among the stars. Holding a flash drive full of crypto, she mocks how greedy and easy humans are to control. Yet Chen Sheng keeps his bored expression, not caring about the mountain of cash. Without a second thought, he pulls out his phone and calls the police to report the find. A few minutes later, a whole squad of officers shows up at the scene. He points to the treasure, handing over the fortune like it's abandoned street trash. Sudana panics completely, unable to believe the boy's guts or sheer stupidity. She tries to wrap her head around how anyone treats endless wealth like nothing. Soon she changes her mind, deciding this detachment proves a massive ambition. Meanwhile, our guy complains that the real danger on the street is the crazy lady floating beside him. Before he can even catch his breath, another weird surprise pops up out of nowhere. An attractive blonde girl in a nightgown shows up asking for a place to stay tonight. Acting cute, she promises to reward his help in the best way possible later on. Chen Sheng swallows hard, but he already knows what he has to do. Moments later, the same cops are back, saluting him once again. He hands the girl over to the police, saying he found another lost person on the street. Sudana collapses mentally again, as her second perfect plan goes down the drain. The kid just takes a sip of his water, totally calm and focused on his routine. The goddess approaches to figure out his taste, offering female knights, beast girls, or herself. To him, it's plain logic. Taking in a stranger off the street is asking for a scam or trap. He only regrets the police can't see the goddess to take her away too. Determined not to lose, Sudana snaps her fingers to read his mind and find his true desire. Wrapped in mystical flames, she promises no human desire can hide from her wisdom. She uses her divine sight to scan the boy's soul and spot his weak point. In reality, Chen Xin thinks all her dramatic posing is just a big joke. Still, the goddess confidently claims she's finally uncovered his dark wish. She analyzes his cold demeanor and connects the dots in her head. Pointing her finger dramatically, she prepares to make an irresistible offer. She concludes his lack of interest in cash and girls means he wants true power. Stepping closer, the goddess promises the perfect gift for someone with kingly blood. Looking dark and serious, she commands him to accept the greatness being offered. She summons a golden sword capable of winning any battle and striking down any foe. Next, she reveals a ring with sacred armor ready to protect his body from harm. Finally, she presents the elixir of eternal life, offering immortality and instant healing. Chen Sheng watches it all blankly, taking in the absurd offer. Surrounded by overpowered gear, Sudana pushes him to take the invincibility combo. She nudges his pocket, telling the kid to unleash his ambition and take over the world. Chen Sheng just stares with a look that says more trouble is coming, waiting for it to end. To everyone's surprise, officers arrive and suddenly salute him right in the middle of the road. They pay full respect to Chen Sheng, who has no clue what's going on. Seeing this, Sudana loses her mind and starts screaming in sheer despair. She can't accept that her most sacred items ended up in police hands. Collapsed on the ground, the goddess cries over handing away her greatest treasures for free. Chen Sheng keeps it real, stating no sane person keeps illegal weapons and weird pills. He ignores all the drama and walks off, nearly stepping on her things. The boy looks back just to remind her he said he didn't want any of it from the start. Pushed to her limit, Sudana decides not to let this slide and starts gathering cosmic energy. She takes on a terrifying expression and releases all her demonic rage. The deity mocks the boy, calling him a clueless bumpkin with no idea what real power is. Declaring herself queen of demon gods, she vows to make our guy taste true despair. She moves her hand, summoning the threads of fate to manipulate reality. With a dramatic gesture, the goddess breaks the karma board to rewrite his future. Her plan is to warp Chen Sheng's luck, to pull the worst monsters and trouble straight to him. The spell spreads across the entire city, altering everyone's path around him. A cloud of pure bad luck surrounds the boy, promising non-stop mortal danger. Letting magical flames drip from her hands, the goddess loves imagining his downfall. She wears a sadistic smile, completely sure her plan will work. Hysterically, Sudana guarantees he will end up on his knees begging for mercy. Right in the middle of her evil monologue, her body starts twitching oddly. Suddenly her heart races and strange smoke takes over everything. Her magic loses control completely and her giant form begins collapsing. She tries to finish her cool line to save face, but it's already too late. A huge explosion of smoke erupts in the middle of the sidewalk. When the smoke clears, a little black furball wearing her divine hat drops from the sky. The creature lands on the ground and blinks, utterly confused by what just happened. When she tries to yell in outrage, a high-pitched meow comes out instead of a demon voice. She stares at her pink paws and panics completely upon realizing what she turned into. Reality hits. Spending so much energy to alter his fate wiped out her magic and turned her into a kitten. Furious, the former goddess activates what's left of her mystical eyes and goes after our guy. She sprints after Chen Sheng, yelling at him to stop right away. The boy turns around with a bored look, asking what this creature is still doing here. The cat opens its mouth arrogantly and blames Chen Sheng for this humiliation, trying to look menacing. The furball glares at the boy as fiercely as it can. She gloats, warning that she rewrote his destiny and his terrible demise is already set. She vows not to lift a finger when disaster strikes, but Chen Sheng doesn't care and bends down. He picks up the kitten with both hands, staring at the creature with a puzzled look. The kitty thinks the kid softened his heart and is trying to please its new master. But Chen Sheng has no patience and delivers a solid strike to the cat. The poor thing gets punted far away, flying through the sky and screaming in terror. Meanwhile, just a few feet away, people walk peacefully down the street. Problem is, a car parked on a hill starts rolling because someone forgot the handbrake. The car owner notices the blunder from afar and freaks out completely. He chases his own vehicle as it picks up speed going down the slope. Nearby at a grocery store, a mother finishes shopping and packs her things. Distracted by her phone, she doesn't notice bumping into her baby's stroller. Thanks to the fakers, the stroller unlocks and rolls toward the road. The baby laughs, thinking it's a game, while the mother looks up in panic seeing the car coming. People on the street scream in terror as the stroller is about to get hit hard. The mother panics completely and runs after the stroller, yelling for help. But the situation is dire, as the stroller rolls onto the road just as a motorcycle approaches. Meanwhile, the baby finds it hilarious, thinking it's an amusement park ride. At the same time, the delivery guy rides along casually, singing without suspecting danger ahead. But then the mother leaps into the road, causing a nasty collision between them. Instantly, both the rider and the mom freeze in shock at what just happened. The impact throws the woman aside and the driver loses total control of the bike. Pizza boxes fly through the air, opening up mid-fall. Hot pizza slices start falling right toward the baby's stroller. A literal pizza rain fills the air while the child keeps giggling. People on the sidewalk panic, seeing scalding food about to drop on the baby's face. That's when Lantia pops up in the crowd, strolling along peacefully. She was just enjoying her snack, but notices the mess just in time. Without hesitation, she plants her feet and taps into her insane physical strength. The girl dashes like lightning straight to save the child. In a crazy move, she stops the rolling car with one hand before it hits the baby. To top it off, she kicks upward and balances every pizza on the tip of her shoe. Doing all this while striking a super dramatic pose in the street. She flashes a proud smile, believing she shined bright as a true hero. In her head, a cheering crowd and fireworks celebrate her moment. Funnily enough, the people around actually start clapping for the show. The mom and the delivery guy are deeply grateful she saved both the kid and the pizza. The girl acts modest on the outside, but inside she loves being the center of attention. Right during the celebration, the feline entity drops from the sky like a meteor. The little creature falls out of control straight into the street. Lantia spots the shadow falling from above and opens her eyes wide. Driven by pure fighter instincts, she readies her leg to react. Thinking someone threw trash from a roof, she delivers a sharp kick to knock it away. The sole of her sneaker snaps hard right on the feline deity's snout. Only after landing the blow does she realize what a wild thing she just did. The kitten blasts off into space, glowing like a shooting star. The poor girl breaks into a cold sweat, realizing her massive mistake. She covers her mouth, panicking over her blunder. Meanwhile, the poor cat spins through the city sky out of control. Totally dizzy and aimless, it begins plunging back down at high speed. The creature slams into the alley floor with a violent thud. It bounces off trash cans until stopping at the back of the alley. The poor thing's soul almost leaves its body from such an insane crash. Right then, Chen Sheng walks by and glares down at the cat with supreme disdain. Angered by the scornful look, the beast gets up and tries to act tough. Soon, the demon realizes her energy got bound to that boy. Xing Sheng completely ignores the cat's outburst and keeps walking. Hiding around the corner, Lantia is having a near-anxiety attack. She dashes off to escape before anyone notices what happened. She already envisions her sports career ruined over animal cruelty. Midway through running, she freezes, sensing something weird nearby. She pulls an acrobatic leap and quickly hides behind a wall. Carefully, she peeks around the wall to make sense of the scene. She catches Chen Sheng talking to a cat wrapped in flames. Recognizing him as her classmate, the girl is left speechless. Chen Sheng walks down the alley, trying to keep his cool. The demon god's aura feels so insane it looks ready to swallow the whole city. Our guy ignores the heavy storm vibes and keeps holding the cat like it's nothing. Suddenly, a bolt from an iron frame pops loose, threatening disaster. Tia stands shocked, seeing the boy hold the cat amidst the weirdness. Quick to react, Shen Sheng races the cat right as the bolt breaks free. The piece of metal flies like a bullet and hits an air conditioner bracket. The heavy rusted unit drops from above with full force. The demon cat cheers, thinking the human is about to get crushed. Tia panics as the heavy unit falls straight toward him, yet Shen Sheng doesn't blink, remaining totally calm. Without thinking twice, the girl leaps forward to save his skin. She yells at him to move before it's too late. With an epic flying kick, she launches the air conditioner away midair. Shen Sheng sidesteps easily while the kitten gets the scare of its life. The unit smashes into the wall, leaving the demon angry that her trap failed. Tia takes a deep breath, trying to catch her wind after the craziness. She attempts to hide her nerves and asks if Chen Sheng is okay. Then she realizes he had already dodged before she even moved. He calmly thanks her and even asks if her leg is fine. Still, the girl can't stop staring at his stance. She notices he took a flawless counterattack stance with 0 openings. She's baffled how a regular guy could possess such insane reflexes. But Chen Sheng stays mysterious without dropping any hints. To her, that level of skill is terrifyingly flawless. She watches every detail of his movements, trying to solve the puzzle. The tension spikes so high she feels he might strike any second. In the end, our boy gives a simple wave and says he's leaving. He reminds her to go take care of her leg injury. Hiding in the rubble, the cat growls in rage, swearing it won't end here. The entity vows to turn this mortal's life into a living hell. Wearing a sinister glare, the creature declares his nightmare is just beginning. The next day, Chen Sheng rides the bus to school like nothing happened. With his sharp sixth sense, he senses the mood on the bus is off. Suddenly, an old lady snaps at the driver, demanding he stop the bus right now. She grabs the driver's arm, causing the vehicle to swerve out of control. The bus skids sideways, nearly crushing surrounding cars. As panic takes over, Chen Sheng decides to handle things his own way. He breaks open a window and leaps from the moving bus. Calculating everything midair with superhuman reflexes, he aims his landing. He glides toward the sidewalk, leaving everyone on the street jaw-dropped. Making matters worse, a big pot of boiling oil launches into the air. The street cook freaks out seeing disaster strike his food stall. To add to the chaos, a wealthy woman decked in jewelry walks nearby. Her giant dog snaps off its leash and charges drooling at the boy. The owner yells her dog is friendly and doesn't bite while chaos reigns. Chen Sheng sighs and enters full concentration mode. In less than a second, he dodges with surreal precision. He ducks right as the boiling oil flies over his head. The rabid dog gets unlucky, crashing straight into the hot cauldron. The big dog misses its bite and slams directly inside the boiling pot. The container spills everywhere while Chen Sheng lands smoothly on the road. Unbothered by the mess, he stands up and keeps walking calmly. The hound gets stuck in the hot pot, creating a massive scene. Glancing back, the kid checks out the absurd scene behind him. The dog's owner rushes over in tears, screaming for her fur baby. She makes a scene with the vendor, demanding pay for her cooked pet. As onlookers film the drama, Chen Sheng quietly slips away. At that moment, a black feather floats down, signaling something strange in the air. The boy notices movement above and looks up at the treetop. Hidden among leaves, a giant crow lets out a creepy laugh at the youth. Chen Sheng just looks puzzled watching the senseless spectacle. The bird starts talking like a dramatic villain about mortal misery. It suddenly turns into a fat black cat in a hat, threatening daily disasters if he doesn't make a wish. Chen Sheng doesn't even blink, watching the creature freak out alone. Mockingly, he says the cat is nice for taking the trouble to warn him of danger. The cat turns red with rage, shouting that it's supposed to be a threat. Our guy smirks, completely stripping away the creature's authority. The creature stands shocked by his nerve after he laughs at his disastrous fate. Trying to command respect, the beast spreads black wings dramatically. The kid doesn't budge, brushing it off as minor daily accidents. The creature swoops down with sharp claws to truly scare him. Chen Sheng drops statistics on how many die daily from accidents and illness. He explains life is dangerous by nature and everyone lives surrounded by risk. The magic cat freezes on the pavement, unable to counter his logic. The boy reveals he spends every second watching surroundings and escape routes. His eyes shine intensely, showing his mind never leaves maximum alert. Meeting all these curses are just routines he plans and trains for daily. The cat snaps, wondering how the kid chooses to live in constant paranoia and anxiety. Chen Sheng proudly admits he can't help it, calling himself a self-proclaimed coward. He adds that if he had a wish, it would be eliminating all world dangers, but he would never ask a creepy entity like that cat for such a wish. Up in the astral realm, Goddess Sudana stands shocked, understanding his mind. She finally discovers where that insane wish energy comes from. Truth is, he fears death so much he treats regular life like a non-stop battlefield. He never relaxes for a second, maintaining total control over his routine. Most impressive of all, he needs no faith or gods to handle that pressure. His emerald eyes reveal sanity so crystal clear it frightens the deity herself. He bows to no one and relies on no one to survive. The kid strives to be invulnerable, alone, making self-reliance his greatest strength. Sensing this wild energy, the goddess's heart races at breakneck speed. Sudana blushes heavily, feeling a weird rush of adrenaline surge through her. She admits seeing many seek immortality, but never anyone with such arrogant independence. The goddess bites her lip in pure tension and fascination. She stares fixedly at the boy and whispers Chen Shang's name, completely obsessed. Grinning excitedly, she confesses she can't wait to see how far he goes. The entity starts salivating at the thought of devouring his soul, despair, and a wish. She vows to savor every drop of this unique experience across all universes. Nearly drooling in ecstasy, the goddess surrenders to this new obsession. Meanwhile, back in reality, Chen Shang's classmates run over confused by the street commotion. Lantia walks over annoyed, complaining about the crazy guy who nearly caused a crash by grabbing the bus steering wheel. She stops in shock, watching the mess from afar, hoping nobody got seriously hurt. Thinking about it, she feels puzzled that other people didn't even notice the wild incident that just happened. In fact, she clearly remembers how Chen Shang reacted instantly to dodge the accident. The boy not only jumped out of the moving vehicle but also faced a rabid dog charging straight at him. With insane reflexes, he dodged the beast and sent the pot of boiling oil flying away. His landing was so smooth and flawless, it looked like a rehearsed scene from an action movie. Lantia boasts to herself, thinking only someone with her elite dynamic vision could track that speed. Coming back to reality, she starts connecting the dots about that boy. The dark stance and creepy aura he released yesterday were definitely not in her head. Her heart races just trying to figure out who this Chen Shang guy really is. She looks around at the crowd and decides she can't just let this go. Meanwhile, Chen Shang keeps walking along trying to stay composed, determined to find the truth. Lantia speeds up and goes straight after him. She pops up out of nowhere with a cheerful greeting to catch him off guard. She approaches him directly, asking if he's okay after almost getting hit by the bus. Playing dumb, Chen Shang says he's fine and brushes it off, claiming it was just pure luck. But Lantia isn't buying that luck story for a second. She knows that kind of dodge requires insane physical skill and extreme reflexes. She admits she could pull off something similar as an elite fighter, but his case is different. What scares her most is that even after that terrible scare, the boy doesn't seem shaken at all. Checking his condition, she notices his heart rate and breathing stay completely calm. It's as if dodging death is as casual to him as taking a simple stretch. As they walk down the sidewalk together, tension between them builds up. Losing patience, she grabs his wrist to stop him from dodging the topic. Gathering her nerve, the girl tells him to stop and listen once and for all. Her eyes glow with certainty, as she claims she can't be wrong about him. She confronts him with dodging 3 fatal accidents in a row without sweating. Staring right into his eyes, she's sure she found the mysterious person she was seeking. Chen Shang acts clueless and asks what she means by 3 accidents. He gently breaks free and replies that he only saw the car rolling, suggesting she got confused. Lantia is shocked by his nerve as he coldly denies everything. Seeing that talk won't solve this, she clenches her fist to force the issue. Without warning, she throws a powerful punch straight at his face to test his reactions. At the last millisecond, the boy's eyes flash as he senses the incoming attack. In a flash, he uses his backpack to block the strike with scary ease. The impact between them is so brutal, it generates a shockwave in the street. The bang is so loud that nearby pedestrians think a bomb or a tire blew up. Lantia pulls back with her hand smoking, amazed to confirm her theory. With a wicked smirk, she celebrates pulling a genuine reaction out of him. Touching his backpack, she makes it clear she caught his secret red-handed. Stepping closer, she blackmails him, saying he definitely doesn't want everyone knowing his secret power. Taking advantage, the girl invites him somewhere private right after class ends. She stands there hopefully, waiting for him to yield to her blackmail. Chen Shang stares at her seriously, weighing his options in this tricky spot. With few choices to protect his cover, he sighs and accepts her offer. Lantia jumps for joy, celebrating her win, while he just laments getting dragged into this mess. Satisfied, she waves goodbye cheerfully before heading off to class. Chen Shang says they will meet at noon, hoping she'll finally leave him alone. Before leaving, she laughs and gives a final reminder that they actually share the same classroom. Hiding in the corner, Kitten Sudana watches Chen Shang with a mischievous look. The feline lets out a sly giggle, already planning how to break the boy's mind. Reaching into memory, she projects magic images of past people who acted unshakable. In her view, people without wishes are simply those who don't care about anything. That's the master move. If he cares about nothing, she must forge bonds to force him to care. Friends, family, and girlfriends are perfect for planting weak spots in anyone's heart. After all, caring for someone creates a huge vulnerability ready to be exploited. The moment he wants to protect them, he will have no choice but to make a wish. Returning to reality, the cat walks over sweetly, rubs against his sneaker, and starts talking. Pointing at the girl ahead, she tests if our guy will give her a chance. Chang Shang thinks it over, scratches his chin, and admits she got his attention. Seeing the bait taken, Sudana silently celebrates her successful manipulation. The beast already envisions Chen Sheng surrounded by a whole harem just as planned. In her mind, all kinds of girls will pop up everywhere in his life. Each girl will be a perfect target to hook his interest once and for all. Meanwhile, Chen Sheng analyzes the girl and notices her punch lacked any killer intent. He puts things together and realizes she's a battle maniac who fights for fun. Since she's a walking threat, his cold mind decides he must eliminate her with full power. The school bell rings, cutting the mood as everyone heads back to their desks. The teacher stands up front, giving his lesson, oblivious to what's happening in the back. During class, Chen Sheng tries to focus on the subject with his usual serious face. But a few rows back, Lantia blushes while sneaking glances at him. Class ends, and our guy packs his things to leave in peace. He stretches out in the courtyard to relieve the day's fatigue, but the girl pants beside him, feeling an odd sensation in her chest. The more she stares at the boy, the faster her heart beats out of control. The poor girl shakes all over as a strange warmth rises to her body. She clenches her fists hard, trying to understand what is happening to her. The energy inside her feels like a mix of fire and electricity. She can no longer hold it in and lets out a giant smile of pure excitement. The final school bell rings right then, dismissing everyone for the day. Determined, she decides not to let him escape and makes her move. Without warning, she grabs Chen Sheng's arm in the courtyard and drags him away. Classmates stand shocked, seeing the martial arts star drag an invisible guy like that. Chen Sheng spots the trap and knows he's completely stuck. His dark mind enters battle mode to take her down, but he holds back due to witnesses. In his mental space, Sudana panics, seeing how dangerous our guy can truly be. The girl slams open the double doors of a room, ending their run. With glowing eyes, she excitedly announces they finally reached the right spot. Chang Sheng silently regrets not finding a single opening to escape along the way. Looking around, he realizes he ended up inside a martial arts training gym. Awkwardly, the girl admits she trained since youth and isn't great with words. She adjusts her stance on the floor, getting into battle mode. With her back to him, she confesses she didn't know how to say what she wanted. Then she grabs the ring ropes tightly and makes her choice. She turns around, throws a punch in the air, and says it's better to talk with actions. Staring into his eyes, she challenges him to an all-out battle. Shen Xing plays dumb and steps back, claiming he doesn't know how to fight. But she ignores his excuses and steps up, blushing with excitement. Spreading her arms, she says any move or rule goes, since it's just the two of them. Standing quietly, the boy suddenly feels a mysterious furry paw touch him. The suspicious black cat starts talking about his fate, as if knowing it all. Squeezing his neck, the beast insists he must eliminate the girl to keep his secret. A jeweled human hand appears, showing the cat holds bizarre powers. Floating with a smirk, the entity tries convincing our guy to do something crazy. The entity insists this is the perfect chance since nobody is watching. Whispering in his ear, she urges the boy to take drastic action. Chen Sheng gets tense under the mental pressure and makes a different choice. Grabbing his red headgear, our guy decides to solve things his own way. The boy faces the pink-haired champion in the ring to propose a deal. Lantia stands surprised by his boldness in accepting the challenge so easily. He asks if she will really stop bothering him if he settles this match. Swearing on her gold medal, the fighter promises never to blackmail him again. Our guy calmly adjusts his gloves, showing he is ready for whatever comes. Stretching his arm to warm up, he shows he isn't playing around. The youth takes his stance and confidently invites her to fight. Behind his pose, he wonders if a rival's promise is worth anything. Meanwhile, the Egyptian-clad entity watches from above as if in control. Finding it funny, she notes the pink-haired girl is easier to manipulate. With a sinister glint in her eye, the creature pities their upcoming fate. The champion smiles confidently, assuming victory is already hers. Charging straight at our guy, she launches a fierce attack. A powerful punch aims straight at our hero's headgear. Moving like lightning, the girl unleashes a rapid streak of strikes. The boy blocks the attacks with stunning precision, surprising her. Noticing he uses no traditional martial arts, she gets intrigued by his style. Every dodge from the boy is highly effective at avoiding direct damage. Feeling her heart race, the girl gets genuinely excited during the fight. Her blood boils with adrenaline as she moves faster across the ring. Leaping over her opponent with speed, she tries to catch him off guard. A swift kick flies through the air, targeting our guy's weak spot. Staying focused, the boy tracks every move without losing concentration. The fighter flies at him again, her enthusiasm growing by the second. Grinning broadly, she shows she loves challenging someone so skilled. Suddenly, right guy stays back and holds his yellow bag, confusing her. Her eyes widen, not understanding his weird action in mid-combat. Flaming electrical energy bursts from his body, startling everyone. The pink-haired girl watches the odd transformation with curious eyes. Thinking he will pull a legendary weapon, she prepares for the worst. The youth reveals metallic claws sparking with electricity in tense air. Shocked by the power, the champ drops to her knees to process the sight. She recovers quickly and lunges with a punch to stop the boy. Unzipping his bag, our guy focuses on pulling out his secret trump card. Her opponent stands frozen in surprise, unsure what to expect next. Trying a desperate move, she unleashes a spectacular aerial kick at him. The red helmet flies off from the force of the hit that follows. From above, both fighters exhaust their remaining strength in battle. Unfortunately, our main guy takes a direct hit and flies into the ropes. The clean strike snaps his head back, shutting down his defense. Lying on his back on the gym floor, the boy rests after going all out. Hanging upside down, the dark-skinned fighter asks if he threw the match. Our guy lies with eyes closed, realizing she isn't an assassin after all. He decides making her lose interest is the best way to get left alone. The pink-haired girl rushes over frantically to see if he got hurt. Sitting up in his red gloves, he calmly says he's fine and just lost. As he speaks, our guy scratches his head awkwardly to brush it off. Lantia gestures cutely in chibi form, unable to accept such an easy win. The boy shifts his tone, seriously reminding her of their deal. Hearing that, the pink-haired girl gets startled and looks up confused. Her eyes widen in total shock as she realizes the gravity of his words. Suddenly, the dark-skinned woman hopes the boy from behind with a smirk. Ignoring her provocation, our guy turns his head with a serious look. Waving goodbye, he walks away with his back turned. The girl in pink gloves watches him walk off with a downcast look. Apologizing for the trouble, she admits she crossed the line, forcing it. She crosses her arms, reflecting on how selfish she was to force a fight. Regret hits hard as the young girl breaks down crying in the middle. At that moment, a heavy tear rolls down her cheek onto the floor. Overcome by frustration, she stomps so hard the ground cracks around her. Screaming a desperate apology, she stands amidst destruction as he leaves. Huge cracks spread through the walls, and concrete falls from above. Looking around startled, our guy sees the place collapsing from her stomp. Giant rocks drop everywhere in the impact zone, creating high tension. Even the metal door takes severe damage with cracks and singe marks. The three characters nearby panic as debris falls all over them. Quickly, they argue in desperation over what caused the strange quake. Our hero watches the damage around him, impressed by what she did. Unexpectedly, a ring-covered hand gently taps the boy's shoulder. The mysterious woman in gold ornaments steps up and leans on him casually. Afterwards, two sets of feet stand side by side as the dust clears. Lantia slowly walks toward our guy with a downcast expression. The boy watches her approach with a serious, shadowed face. Lowering her head, the pink-haired girl can't look him in the eyes from shame. Teardrops fall directly onto the cracked floor. She cries genuinely, showing how deeply hurt she feels by everything. Clenching her fists in fighting gloves, she tries to contain her anger. Giving a final goodbye, the girl runs off, promising not to bother him. The boy watches her silhouette fade toward the bright exit. Remaining in silence, our guy processes everything that just happened. Suddenly, right as acquaintance runs up asking what he did there, other characters show up upset, blaming our guy for hurting the fighter. The boy stays less serious face as a cold sweat drop rolls down. Suddenly, a furry hat-wearing beast pops up and pushes his head down. The odd creature smirks with glowing eyes while holding our guy. The creature opens its fanged mouth and talks to Qin Xing about fate. Walking backward, our guy hears that eerie voice speak about the girl's future. Sudana, the great demon goddess, demands he make a wish, showing the girls. Smirking slightly, our guy wonders if he should really care about them. He turns sideways calmly, admitting he might care just a little bit. The furry creature beams at his answer, releasing a celebratory sparkle. Our main guy stands frozen in shock, eyes wide at what's on the gym floor. Looking down, students gasp at the shattered concrete floor from insane power. A student points and yells at our guy while the floating cat says this can't be ignored. Suddenly, the sharp-toothed girl and her pet laugh as their plan succeeds completely.